Oh, hello everybody. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me at the back? Is the microphone on? Well, I don't think the microphone, but it's good. So, hello, welcome to the ski trip information evening. We are recording this, so if anybody wants to take notes, I must for this recording before it goes out. Right, so I'm Mrs. Ron Karate for those people that don't know me. So I'm leading the ski trip with my band of merry colleagues, who I'll introduce you to later. But for the beginning, I'm going to introduce you to this chap here up on the left. He's a good-looking chap, he is. Okay. Not. And he's going to talk you through his bits, and then there'll be an opportunity to ask questions, so on and so forth, when Danny is finished speaking. So over to you, Danny. He did say he's not very good at technology.
I'm not very good at technology at all. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right, thanks. Doing these online is not very easy. My name is Danny Duncan. I am the Managing Director of Elemental UK, where the ski company and the summer company have been taking East Barnet away for ever, literally ever and ever and ever. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to take you through the coach picking you up and the coach dropping you off. Okay, there's going to be lots of little tips. This is being recorded, and the sway, which is a new way of doing a presentation, I'm told by the young people in my office, can be sent to you as well. Miss Ron Karate can send you that as well. So I'm now effortlessly going to share my screen with you, so it looks like I know what I'm doing. There we go. Can you see an elemental snowy scene? I need feedback. I can't see your screen. I can only see mine. Right, here we go. So you're off to Les Orts. Here we go. Right, so we're going to look at those. What's going to happen is the coach is going to pull up outside your school at a designated time. That will be sent to you within the next couple of weeks, the exact timings of it, if you haven't already received that. And then you're going to jump on your coaches and out you go. Now, because you're from London, it's a lot easier for you guys. I live in Cornwall, so we're in Cornwall at the moment, and it takes us 8 to 9 hours to get to Dover from Cornwall. So for you guys, it's only a couple of hours, so that's quite nice. Still, it's a long way. You're going to go down to Dover, you're going to cross at Dover into Calais, and then we estimate it's about a 13-hour journey, 14-hour journey from Calais all the way down to Les Orts. So that's quite a long time, okay? So there are a couple of tips that you need for the coach. One, bring your day bag. Your day bag is where all your bits go in for the coach journey there and the coach journey back, all right? Your suitcase or your hold all goes underneath the coach. And I'm going to destroy some shopping outings here. This is not a fashionable buy loads of new gear trip, okay? It's a sports trip in effect. In the evenings, it's jeans, hoodies, jumpers, sweatshirts, that sort of thing. You don't need a new ball gown or evening suit for this. You'll never, ever be the scruffiest person in the hotel because I'm there. And it's just basically, we're going to be moving around in the evenings. When we go outside, obviously, we're going to be putting our ski gear back on, and you've already got that. So please don't go out and buy a lot of evening clothes for this. So you don't need to bring masses and masses with you. You're going by coach, therefore, it will be a restricted area, okay? If you bring 3 suitcases, it's not all going to fit. So your day bag goes on the coach with you. Your suitcase or your hold all goes underneath the coach, and you won't get access to that until you get to the resort. Few things to have in your bag. A pillow is always a good idea to take with you. It gives you something to lean on the coach. You can dribble on something you recognize, and it's always good to have a second pillow on your bed when you get to that hotel. Another thing, like a little blanket, or you can get these travel blankets, are quite good. just so you can wrap yourselves up. Sleeping bags can get a bit cumbersome and also red hot. So I wouldn't take a sleeping bag. You are now, last 15, 20 years, we have to stay in the seat with your seatbelt done up all the time that the coach is in motion. So gone are the days of sleeping on the parcel shelf or underneath the seats or down the aisle. You have to remain seated. Everybody in the coach, when the coach is in motion, you have to have a seatbelt on. Therefore, allocate for that. Food's a really good idea, especially it's an overnight trip, and kids can nibble. What I would strongly suggest is you pack that sensibly. I'll come on to pocket money and shopping and all the rest of it later on. But basically, if you can put stuff in there that's not going to give them a massive sugar rush. So a 3-foot bar of Galaxy with a Red Bull is not the best packed lunch to take away with you. Any energy drinks, they're not allowed on the coach anyway. Anything blue is generally not good for a person under 18 whilst traveling. And, you know, things like sandwiches, that type of thing are absolutely fantastic. A good thing to have on there as well is antiseptic wipes or gel, just so you can freshen up if you've had something to eat or, you know, you've been traveling for a while. And also, you know, since I think we've all learned in COVID, when you go out and you perhaps touch a banister of this or touch something else of that, it's always a good idea just to give yourself a bit of an antiseptic gel or wipe just to give your hands or face a clean. Put your toilet bag in your day sack, okay? So your toilet bag goes into your traveling bag on the coach, because once we get to a certain time, we'll pull in, it'll be a comfort break, and then you can brush your teeth, have a bit of a wash, whatever, and then you can then move on. Now, there's a few tips and things on here, okay? Georgia, who wrote this, she's ever so nice. She's 22. No one in the history of any school trip ever has got changed into their pajamas to go overnight on a trip. So I think she's a lovely girl, but she's never done this. She's never actually been on the coach. We always fly her out. As you can see there, the coach will stop every 4.5 hours for a break. That's a legal requirement. The two drivers will stop every 4.5 hours, and that will be a gap of up to 45 minutes. Okay. And then the DVD player on board. If you're going to bring a DVD, it has to be of an age applicable to the youngest person on the trip. Okay, so who is the youngest person on the trip, Miss Roncarati?
They'll be about 12.5.
There you go. So that's PGs. You're not allowed anything over a certification of PG. If you do bring a DVD, write your name on it so you can get it back. We can't guarantee that there are phone and battery chargers in every seat. So if you've got a battery pack, I'd bring that as well. If I were you, that goes in your bits bag. Another really important thing to put in your bits bag is a pair of ski socks. All right, and I'll come on to that later on. So when the coach picks you up, try not to be the last person. It's ever so awkward when the coach is waiting for you and you turn up 15 minutes late, because we have to get a certain ferry, and that certain ferry will be down at Dover and it'll take us over. Okay, you've often heard, I think recently, about the unrest at Dover for school travel. We've been absolutely promised that they have rectified the situation, but that's out of our control. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we want to be slightly early for our ferry rather than late. So please be on time or early would be great. All right. So there's lots of stuff on there, snacks. On the way back, we will make provisions so your young people can go to a supermarket to stock up on food and bits and pieces for the journey home. Okay. Which is what they'll do. And that will be monitored by Miss Roncarati, who doesn't like young people getting on with 12 cans of Coke and a catering pack of Haribo, which, incidentally, the whole trip will probably be sponsored by Haribo anyway, because that's mainly what they spend all their money on. Right, so here we go. We've got deodorant. Boys, take some, give it a go, see how you get on with it. Try it for size, all right? And then, here we are. These are just a few glorious ski shots that we have of young people. And then you're going to get to the hotel. As I say, the journey is going to take about 13 hours, maybe 14, depending on how you get on. We're staying in the Hotel Portet. I think I've been going to the Hotel Portet now for about 26 years, I think. Probably about 26 years. So we know it really, really well. Very, very well, in fact. We love it. It is that hotel just there, okay? The great thing, and I think Ms. Roncarati and her team will back me up on this, is the bar area. We've taken over the whole hotel. There's nobody else in the hotel. EBS has exclusivity in the hotel. And that bar area is massive. And there's a pool table there. There's a table football there. There's a big screen that plays music and videos and things like that. There's a creperie there. There's a bar. It's really good. And we all fit in there, and there's board games, and we can do spoons, and we can play all different types of games, and we can have a disco in there. We can do lots and lots of things. It's a fabulous base for us. Tony and Nat, who run the hotel, are as mad as a box of frogs anyway. But Tony runs the kitchens and the bar, and Nat wanders around, not doing a great deal, but she does make a lot of noise about not doing a great deal. But Tony works his trousers off. He's always in the bar, or we're in the bar. We run the bar as well sometimes if they're busy, and we help in the kitchen. Okay. The bedrooms go from 2s to, I think there's an 8 in there. I think there's an 8, a couple of 8. But the rooming will be sent to the school well before you get there. And Ms. Roncarati with her team will do the rooming as best they can. Please don't panic if you're not in the exact room with all your besties, because we don't go to the rooms a lot. It's there for changing, sleeping, just doing, a few bits and pieces, then you're out. This is a moving holiday all the time. So you've arrived in resort. And the reason I said put some ski socks in your day bag is because we're then going to go for Ski Fit. Ski Fit, very conveniently, is next door to the hotel. It's about 25 feet away. So we go in there and we do Ski Fit. So the great thing is we hold people in the bar and we go out in small groups of 15, 20 young people and get our skis and boots from there. They then go in the ski locker. At this point, it's a really, really good idea to take a photograph of your skis and boots, because they all look the same to you guys who've not skied before, or perhaps a few of you have skied before. They look quite different to the rest of us, but they are they are fitted to your foot, your height, your weight, and your ski ability. Okay, so your skis, your personal admin is to know what skis are yours. And in the ski locker room that they're all going to be put in, there is a locker per room. So if you're in room 202, you put your skis in locker 202. Hence, and 101, 101. You'll work that bit out. But so there'll only be the maximum number of people in your room. That's the maximum number of skis that are going to be in your locker. So we make it a little bit easy for you. Also, we'll put your name on a piece of tape that will then stick to the skis and the boots. Okay. But that generally falls off after about a day or two. So you need to have each ski and each boot has an individual number. If you take a photograph of that on your camera, on your phone, then we won't have any trouble at all. Because what we don't want to do, and it's invariably the last person, comes down, has got one ski up here, one ski down there, and we never find the other person at the end of the day. All right. So that's your personal admin, those people that are going on the trip. Okay. Then we start ski school. Okay. And ski school, good looking lad in the middle there. Not sure if you recognise him. What do you think? Perhaps on the left? We don't wear uniform anymore, but I just thought I'd put that on there just to, keep Miss Roncarati happy. So this is a day in the life of. We get up at 7:30 in the morning to have breakfast. It's a continental breakfast with cereals, bread, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, bit of fruit, bit of yogurt, that sort of thing. And you eat it on the paper tablecloth on the table. So it's not like home where you have bowls, where you obviously have bowls for cereal, otherwise it goes everywhere. But plates and things like that. We don't have it. We're in France. We eat the French way, and there's fruit juice and all the rest of it. So we eat that, and then you come down to breakfast half dressed for skiing. And by that, I don't mean one sock and one glove. I mean you come down with your long johns on, perhaps your salopettes, without the braces on. You don't wear your helmet unless you're a really, really sloppy eater. And then we have breakfast, and then you can go back up to your rooms, quick brush your teeth, ablutions, get the rest of your gear, and out you come. Now, there's quite a lot of responsibility at this stage for the young people who are going out there, because you need to remember to have your gloves, your goggles, your helmet, your ski pass, come on, ski pass in a minute, the right amount of clothes on, okay, been to the loo, that sort of thing, okay, and that all needs to be done by 8:30, okay, 8:30 in the morning, because then we walk outside the hotel. Dun, 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 dun. There, you see where it says P? Can you see my cursor? There's a black car and there's a little shed with P written next to it. That's the bus stop. And that's where the navette picks us up. Navette is a bus in France where we all get on, and we go up the 3-minute ride up to the centre of town, where then we walk in and then we get ready for our ski school. Ski school starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and that goes on till 12. And then we get on the navette, we leave our skis up there, we come back down with our ski boots on, take the ski boots off, have lunch, it'll be a hot lunch, and then if you need to go to your rooms, go to your rooms, that sort of thing, and then we get back on 1:30, we go back up again and have another 2 hours ski lessons. Okay, so that's a lot of ski lessons. We know the ski school personally, I know all of them there, so we match the right instructors for the right groups. And we'll come on to how we sort those groups out. That will do it now. So skiing is done in ability groups, not friendship groups, okay? So what we do is put all the brand new beginners together. Sorry about that. All the brand new beginners together, okay? And then they go off. We'll know about them before they arrive. And then everybody else who's skied before, we do a little run where you do 3 or 4 turns to show what level you're at. And then the instructors will then move you around, okay? If within the week you pick things up quicker or you need a little bit more attention, then it's the instructor's job to move them around, okay? So you can't go, if you've skied for 77 weeks and your best friend's coming and they've never skied, we won't allow you to ski with your best mate who's a beginner. You will be in ability groups. There's lots of times to socialize outside of skiing, but for skiing, it's done in ability, and it'll be the instructors who move you up and down the groups as they see fit. All right. I'll be out there as well. You'll be pleased to know. And I'll be skiing around with all the groups as well. Sometimes if we've got some people that are doing fantastically well and they've skied many, many times before and they find it a bit easy, I can take them out. Or the other way around, if somebody is struggling quite a bit, then I can pull them out of ski school, give them an intensive 1-to-1 lesson for a couple of hours, and then pop them back into ski school. Okay, so we have that facility there. It's a busy, busy time. We do this for 6 whole days, literally. Up at 7:30, we're on the go. We come back into, after skiing, at about 4:30, we get back into the hotel. Skis away, boots away, all the gear away, and then up to your rooms for a shower, get changed, get out your ski kit, get into your evening gear, and then we come down for dinner, which is about 6 o'clock. It'll be a 3-course meal. We always use manners. I'm from Yorkshire and I'm staying in your hotel, so nobody wears hats in the dining room unless it's raining in the dining room, which it hasn't done for 28 years. So you don't come down with hats on, but you do have to wear shoes. I'll explain all that when I'm there. And then we do evening ents, which will be designed by our team in resort and the EBS staff. And that's going to be dictated by the levels of fatigue that the group have. So we all know we're there to ski. That's the most important thing. So if our groups are really, really tired, like on Wobbly Wednesday, for example, we're not going to do shuttle runs up and down the mountain. Okay, we're going to do something nice and laid back, like perhaps a quiz evening or kill a pool or put some music on or that sort of thing. Okay, but that will be done between your staff and my staff, and we're in constant communication for that. Okay. If you have dietary requirements, okay, so that is either through religion, moral, medical, whatever, allergy, let us know. Please let the teachers know before you get there. There's quite a complicated form that Miss Ron Karate and her team have got to fill out. Please, please, please let us know. We can cater for anything if we know, okay? If we don't know, it's a bit of a surprise. And also what I would say is if you're a vegetarian at the beginning of the week, you can't have a lack of morals halfway through the week when lasagna turns up or something like that. And you think, oh, I really like that. I've never liked cows. So, you know, you've got to stay, whatever you say you are, that's what you've got to be, okay? Because we have to cater for quite a lot of people in that hotel, and we need to make sure we're doing it right for obvious reasons, okay? If you don't like cucumber, for example, don't eat cucumber. That's not an allergy, that's a fuss. So, you know, an army walks on its stomach. We monitor intake of food endlessly because everybody has to eat. If you don't put fuel in the engine stops working. And we need the engine to work for at least 5 hours a day. Okay, so we make sure that everybody has breakfast, everybody has lunch, and everybody has an evening meal. All right. If you've got any questions about that, then I'm sure that we can answer them. Or if you want to do it discreetly, then I'm sure that the members of EBS staff that have been before, Miss Ron Karate has been going there since she was a girl, so a couple of 100 years ago, and she knows the resort intently. When the glacier was passing through when she was at school herself. We do lots and lots of evening events. It could be a luge. We love bumboarding because that's literally outside the hotel. And everybody, who doesn't like bumboarding? Bumboarding is great fun. And there's lots of different things that we're going to be doing. As I say, that'll be done between us in resort. That's actually Bertie skiing there, Caroline, which not bad. That's Fraser. He's not coming. He's a pain. So, again, another bit of personal admin. Your ski pass is worth just over £5.5 million each. Okay, so when you get given your ski pass, I want you to take a photograph of it because it's got an individual number on it. So if you lose your ski pass and we've got the number, we just trot to the ski pass office, cancel that one, get a new one issued. Job's a carrot. Okay, if you don't have a picture of that, you've got to buy a new one. Okay, so a ski pass goes in your jacket, and there's normally a little pocket on the left-hand side of a ski jacket. It goes in there and it stays in there. It doesn't need to come out. And the reason for that is it will trip the barrier. It's a magnetic, I don't know, technical thing, that it'll trip the barrier and let you in on every lift. Okay. If you leave it in the hotel, you can't go skiing. You will miss that session. And that's a real shame. Okay. So we need to make sure your personal admin is a little list of things that you need in the morning: gloves, goggles, helmet, ski pass. Okay, really, really important. So also, you'll know your names. You've got pictures of your skis and your boots. Here's a very brief kit list. You can take more than this. Thermals, good idea. There are two things that go in a ski boot. Okay, one is your foot, and the other is your ski sock. Nothing else. Don't tuck long johns in there, running tights. We had a couple of kids put jeans in there at some point because you put your foot in, you crank your boot up. If you have a crease in another piece of clothing, it will push against your shin or your foot and it will bruise it. And we can change your boots as many times as you want. If you've got a bruised shin, it's always going to hurt. Okay. So the only thing that goes in there is ski sock and a foot. A good tip for ski socks, especially if you've got boys, is you get 3 different colours. So then they can rotate them round. So if you have yellow, blue, and red, they wear yellow one day, blue the next, red the other, and then they go back again. Okay. If you send them off with 4 pairs of blue, you'll come back with 1 smelly pair and 3 absolute pristine pairs. Okay. So fleeces, mid layers. It's all about the layers. Little layers, thin layers that trap air and heat you up. One big massive fleece or woolly jumper isn't going to do it, I'm afraid. You want thin layers, mid layers. They're much more common than they used to. Wicking layers are good. They work really, really well. Ski jacket. If you've never skied before, right, all this stuff, beg, borrow and steal. All right, just beg, borrow it off people. Facebook Marketplace is a really good place to get secondhand ski gear. And Lidl and Aldi generally do a ski week coming up fairly soon. So Middle from Lidl is brilliant. And their gear is actually very, very good indeed. Okay, so it's all about warmest winds when we're away. You don't have to match. You don't need a North Face Summit suit at 1,700 quid. You need something that keeps you warm and dry when you're on the slopes. That's all you need. Don't even have to fit very well. All right. Ski socks we've talked about. Salopettes. They're the over trousers that go on. Warm headgear. You'll all be wearing a helmet, which is part of the package anyway, at all times when you're skiing. But it's always good to have like a beanie or some form of hat to keep yourself warm. Goggles, we only ski in goggles, okay? The reason for that is goggles go outside your helmet, okay? So they don't press in. Also, they go on your face and they're rubbery and plasticky. So if you, when you fall over and if you face plant, it just hits the goggles, and that's it. If it's snowing, anything like that, you know, we're going in Feb, the chances of snow are quite high, so we need goggles. If you wear prescription glasses, go and try the goggles on that you're going to buy, okay? Because they need to fit over your glasses like that, and they fit and they don't steam up, because otherwise you'll be skiing with no vision at all, which is just making it harder. Gloves are quite important in February. Get some good gloves. Also, if you've got gloves that you're not quite sure about, you can get silk inners from Snow and Rock, Slush and Rubble. Ellis Bringham's a good ski shop. They'll sell silk inners. They're like very tight little gloves that go underneath. Some people use them for running, that type of thing. They go in your gloves. Now, they keep your hands super warm when you put those in the gloves as well. Waterproof boots. Yeah, moon boots are not really a thing anymore. That was the 70s. We don't really wear them, to be honest. A pair of good, fairly high trainers we wear. I take a couple of pairs. If you're going to wear trainers, take a couple of pairs, because one pair will get wet when we go bum boarding. That's what I would say to that. High factor suntan cream and lip balm, absolutely essential. I would say factor 50, because you get the sun beating down and it bouncing off the slope. Plus weather, you've got wind that you're going to be into. If it's cold, you've got wind, you've got cold. It does chap your face and all the rest of it, which is why lip balm is good. Otherwise, you look like you've been kissing the oven door after about day 3. Okay, so no one wants horrible lips with them falling off. There's some more handsome people, mainly my family. We're going to show you something, a couple of things in a minute. There'll be, as I say, a few things. We might do pizza evening one night. We'll see how we're getting on. There might be a crepe evening. There might be lots of different things to do there. Okay. So if you want, I'm going to show you a video of actually what you're actually going to. Now, I'm going to get this in before Ronkers does. I was younger when this video was made. I didn't have a beard, but I still class myself as eye candy. So how do I do this? Okay. Here we go. Now tell me if I'm getting this right. Can you see all this?
Yeah, that's good. Can you enlarge the
How do you enlarge it?
video? Click where your mouth is.
Can you see all this?
Right. Go back to the square, the bottom right-hand corner. That's
Yeah.
it. Click it.
Well, yeah, doing that. It's not happening. It hates me. Is it too small to see?
Should we play it? Yeah, play it.
First time I came to the Alps, I was on a school trip, and that's where I got the bug from. I was 13. I started to ski, and I was absolutely shocking for the first 3 days. I was so bad, in fact, that my sports teacher took me out of ski school because he couldn't believe anyone could be that bad at skiing. You can't stop laughing. You fall over a lot. You're with your friends. You fall in love with your instructor. You fall in love with the mountains. It's incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly funny. All these emotions going on, and it's
I love it. It's fantastic. Oh, look at me. I'm so happy. And that's Danny showing off. She's only instructors. It's amazing.
like Les All. I've been to many resorts in France. Les All for us is France epitomized. The main thing is the children come down here and they get French culture. They get tremendous instructors, the clean air, the exercise, the teamwork, the camaraderie with everybody on the slopes. You're looking out for them, they're looking out for you.
I think the parents are going to be well, Jill.
My name is Danny Duncan. I'm the Managing Director of Elemental UK. We're a tour operator who specialises in kids travel, in schools travel, and we also specialise in families, in ski and in summer.
Hey. Ah, that's brilliant. Excellent.
There we go.
Very good.
How did that work out?
Yeah, well, there wasn't much sound there, but I thought I'd made up for it.
Oh, there you go. It was very loud at this end. Right, a few more things. Medical. We have X-ray and doctors in resort. Stefan, personal friend. I've never been beaten to the medical centre yet. So if there's anything does happen, the instructor will either ring me immediately or he'll ring the ski school and the director of ski school will ring me. We're all walkie-talkie linked as well. So we've got VHF radios out there. So with the rep team that we've got out there, we're all linked and we're around patrolling the slopes as well. We go straight down to the medical centre and we help down there. 9 times out of 10, it's nothing. It really isn't. It's a bump or a sprain or something like that. And we go back to resort. If it does need anything further than that, we've got 2 amazing hospitals left and right, 50 minutes away in either direction, called Gap or Briançon. And they are fantastic there. If that does happen, you will obviously be informed when we know something. What we don't do is don't ring you and just say, oh yeah, little Jimmy's falling over. I have no idea what's happened. We will ring you with information. Okay. It is an outdoor pursuit. There is a small risk. It's got a lot better over the years when equipment has got better. But we have to mention it. The food is really, really important to me. We have to make sure that people eat. Okay, so please make sure that we have all dietary requirements before you get there. Same goes for medication. I think Caroline will probably touch on that in a minute. And pocket money. You're not going to get any change that you give your young person. Children never give you money back. It's a one-way valve. I've got 2 of them who cost a fortune. So I would suggest no more than 70 euros. If you turned up without a penny, you'd have a fantastic trip for the simple reason everything's paid for, literally. So anything that's going to be extra will be pop, crisps, sweets, that sort of thing, perhaps little souvenirs or that type of thing. It's a good idea to put some money to one side for the journey back. So if they do want a hot meal on the journey, or if they want to get a hot meal on the ferry, then that's a good idea to put some back for that. A lot of people these days are using prepaid credit cards like Monzo, Sterling, that type of thing. By all means, you can at least monitor that from the UK, and you can put on or take off as much as you want on that. Okay. What have I missed, Caroline? Homesickness, telephones. I beat you. What? Mobile phones are the scourge of modern society, as far as I'm concerned, but they unfortunately have a place. I don't know what the school policy is. I dare say Ms. Roncarati is going to tell you about that in a minute. But phones, check with your supplier before you go. My darling eldest son, when we went on holiday a few years ago, on day 3, Vodafone rang me and informed me that we were running up a bill of £1,700 on data since we got there in 3 days, and we had to pay it. So be careful with that. I'm with EE. I pay something called Passport, which means I get unlimited data while I'm away if I tell them before I leave. If you tell them when you leave, I think it works out about a tenner a day, which is avoidable. So just check with your supplier what their European roaming charges are. Okay. We don't really use the phones very often. You can't really use them skiing for the simple reason you're skiing. The only time you can get it out is probably on a chairlift, and that's generally when it falls off and lands 33 foot down in a 6-foot snowdrift, and you're never ever going to see it again. So we try and ask you just to keep them into the hotel, really, to be honest. That's and you can ring home. If, because you've got young people there, might never have been home away before, and you get some homesickness, you cannot solve homesickness in the UK and keep ringing them. It just doesn't work. I've been doing this for 37 years. The only way to help with homesickness is you tell the EBS team, and we will deal with your young person. And I guarantee it'll be one or all three of dehydrated, hungry, and tired. And it's normally around about Wobbly Wednesday. Okay, so what we do is give them a big glass of water, a sandwich, and throw them in bed. And then they wake up on Thursday delightful and beautiful, as you will remember. So please don't, if you do get a young person who's a bit disgruntled, whatever, they'll be tired, dehydrated, and hungry, please inform the EBS staff, and then we can deal with it in resort. I can't stress that enough. Right, I don't think I breathed in.
No, right. So can I take over now?
Whatever.
All right, cheers, thank you. Right, actually, I don't need a microphone. I can't cope with
You don't. I can hear you from here.
Yeah, all right. Okay, good. So, first of all, I'm going to introduce you to part of the team. They're not all here tonight. There's me, Mrs. Ron Karate. We have Mr. Baxter over there, Miss Williams, Miss Akathangelo. Now, I have to point out, when we went skiing on the ski trip this year, I didn't really know them very well. They are now my children. So we have this little ongoing joke. When we say to kids in school, they're my kids. Really? Absolutely. We have Miss Tipton is going over here, and Miss Manchenko. We also have Mr. Drugan, for those people that went last year, you'll know Mr. Zulu, Miss Brady, who else have we got? And Mr. Huggle, along with the wonderful elemental team. So we are all there. Now, something you need to know is we are loco parentis, which means we are standing in for your parents. So this is, I'm telling you children, okay? So while we're out there, we are your parents. And I don't know what your real parents are like, but I can tell you, I'm quite strict, but fun, right? It's very, very important. The purpose of this trip is that you have a wonderful experience and that you make new friends. I think people didn't believe me last year, and they came back, and all those people that have been before, I think they agree that they spoke to people they never thought they'd speak to. I told the story of my daughter multiple times about her going on a ski trip. She came here when she was in year 8 or 9, didn't know anybody, and she made her best friend for life. She's now 20, and they're in touch with each other all the time. So it is an absolutely fantastic experience, and we want you all to have a brilliant time. But you will have a better time if we are quite clear about rules and do's, don'ts. So mobile phone, yeah, you're allowed them, which you're not allowed in school, but they are your responsibility. I agree with Danny, don't take them out on the ski slope with you. We will take our phones with us, and we will take photographs of you. We'll send something around if we haven't already done so, asking for permission for photographs to be taken. Obviously, if you say no, we'll cut out any kids that you don't want to have their photo. But otherwise, we are going to have a bit of social media going on. We're going to have the EBS Twitter account, and we're going to be uploading photographs. That Miss Inchenko has kindly agreed to be our PR person on the trip, so she will put photos on. Mobile phones, just going on that again, it's good to have so that parents get worried. And I had phone calls and messages saying, nobody's messaged me. Not having any messages is a good thing. You're here straight away if anything bad happens, right? But we will tell students, just let your parents know that we've arrived safe. And if they don't, it's the kids' fault. We'll have bedtimes. We decide what those bedtimes are on a day-by-day basis, depending on how tired people are and what the activities are in the evening. And when bedtimes happen, it will be you are going to bed. And then we can get quite strict if people continue to make noise, because we know, particularly if you're in a big room, the worst thing, I was about to do this when I was a teacher, when I was young and started out on teaching, I thought, I don't want the noisy kids or the loud ones ruining it for people that want to get their sleep. You are going to be tired. So this is, I'm sort of jumping from one thing to another, fitness. You need to be fit before you go on the trip, okay? So if you are not fit now, you need to get fit. You need, the key one, I would say, are squats. You need to really work those thighs. You need to be doing squats now, wall squats. PE can tell, Mr. Baxter can teach you all that. But if you do very little, and if you're in your PE lessons and you stand in the corner and don't do anything, you need to ask yourself, why have you asked to go on this ski trip? Okay. You will be made to ski 5 hours a day, every day. Opting out is not an option. Okay, we are there to make sure that you have a good experience, and having a good experience, not sat in your room in a hotel for 5 hours. I don't think parents were paid the money that they're paid so that you can just look at 4 healing more. So you do need to ski every single day. The only time you'll be allowed to not ski is if you have broken something or you are majorly injured. But that will be something that we will decide, professionals decide at the time. Going on to, that leads on nicely to sleep and eating. So as Danny said, eating is really, really important. Food is fuel. Doesn't matter whether you like it, you're going to eat it. I did upset a few people last year because I said I noticed they weren't eating, and we made them sit there and eat. They weren't getting down from the table until they'd eaten. Because, again, you can do yourself an injury. You don't have energy in your body. You're going out in cold temperatures every day, doing 5 hours of exercise. Your body won't cope if you aren't putting food in. Now, temperatures, when we went at Easter last year, it was, what were temperatures, did you say? 50, it was warm, okay? The snow was melting. We're going in February. It's going to be much, much colder, okay? It could be as low as, Danny, go down to minus what in the day? Could be...
minus 20?
Right?
I skied in minus 35 this year.
Right, so that is very, very, very cold. It's not going to be the same as it was at Easter. So there won't be this whole, oh, we can walk about, you know, sort of late afternoon. The day's shorter, so it's going to be dark a lot earlier. All this has an impact. I know it's only a difference of like 6 weeks, but that will make a huge difference to temperature. So you will need more layers. If last year you think, oh, I didn't need all those, take them all with you this year. Okay. In terms of, so I'll just go back to behaviour. If there is any sort of bad behaviour, I mean, you know, I'm looking at all your wonderful children. They're all gorgeous and fantastic, and we're just going to have a fantastic time. But if anybody is badly behaved and they continue to not follow our rules, we will send them home. And again, that will be something you need to take up with your children, because we make it very clear this trip is for, we've got to make sure everybody's safe. And if children are being unsafe, so if they are deciding they're going to leave the hotel on their own, they've not been given permission, they go out, in my mind, that is unsafe. We then have to question, should they be with us on this trip? I can't be responsible for people that cannot follow instructions. So you do need to make sure, just have a good chat with some of the kids and say, I do not want a phone call saying they're considering sending you home. But it has been done. No smoking, no vapes, right? No drugs. I'm stating the obvious here, okay? But I'm spelling it out so that we don't have any miscommunication. You will be allowed to sort of potentially, it's not like last year when we're in the middle of town, we are a bus ride up to town. So people aren't going to be wandering off, but you don't sort of leave the hotel anyway without our permission. You'd never be able to do it on your own. You always need to be in groups. Roomings. Later on, either this term or beginning of next term, I will have a meeting for students where I will give you a slip of paper and I will ask you to write down the name of 2 people you would like to share a room with. I will try my utmost to put you in a room with at least one of them. I can't guarantee it, however, because of the room sizes. Again, everybody bonded so well last year, even though some people initially were very upset. Actually, they ended up getting on very, very well. We wouldn't let anybody come on the trip and be sort of sad and unhappy. They might be sad and unhappy briefly, but they do get over it and they realise what great fun it is. Communication, so we'll have over Twitter or X, but we will also potentially communicate with the school. It will be via email, so please do check junk. I'm going to be sending out a number of messages via parent portal very soon, including this. I'll do a detailed hit list, all right, things that you need to have, and then it will be other things like we need your kids to bring in their passports and EHICS or GHICS. So EHICS and GHICS, don't know what that is. EHICS stands for European Health. Hold on, European Health something card, insurance card. GHIC is Global Health Insurance Card. Now, we've got an insurance with the school on the trip, which is travel insurance, but the GHIC and EHIC, if there are sort of minor things and you have to go to maybe the doctors while you're out there, that will sort of cover part of it. It will certainly make the process a lot quicker and easier if there are injuries and so on while you're out there. So what I'm going to ask for, I think this side of Christmas, is can your child bring in their passport and their EHIC or GHIC, and I'll put it in a message, but they'll give it to one of us. We will photocopy it and give it back to them, just so we've got a copy. EHIC and GHIC is free. You have to apply for it online. It used to take 2 weeks to come through. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I would check at home. It's the size of a credit card, and say it doesn't cost anything. If you haven't yet got one, please could you apply for one now? Passports need to have 3 months left on them, valid from the time that we come back into the UK. Right, so you need to check that you've got a minimum of 3 months valid from the dates that we come back into the UK. We talked about spending money. What we do for spending money, we will have a bank. So 2 members of staff will collect in the day that we leave school. They will collect in money from your children, and it'll be in an envelope. They'll have the total of money that they collect in, and then on a daily basis, 2 members of staff will open a bank in the evening, and they will, your son, daughter can say, can I have 10 euros, whatever. We will give it to them. We will close the bank, and that is it. But it just means that their money is kept in a secure place, and they're not tempted to spend a whole lot in one go in the first couple of days. Entertainment for the coach. As I say, it's all very well. If you travel sick, please think about what you are going to look at for entertainment-wise. If you travel sick, looking, maybe reading a book or playing on your phones would be the best thing to do. But maybe you can listen to music or audio books or something. That's great. But the phones are your responsibility. We won't be collecting those in. I think, is there anything else that I have missed out? Do you think there's anything I've missed out? No, talked about being cold, exercise, yes. Yeah, but she's coming back this year. So I think the point being, you will have more fun if you are not dying at the end of the day, right? In the mornings, you will feel absolutely exhausted. It's so exciting, okay? And I'm almost getting past it. I'm getting to a stage where I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's a young person again. But you get up in the morning and you're aching and you're stiff and you come downstairs like, and we force you to drink hot chocolate and have a coffee and eat whatever, and you'll get out on the slopes and it will just be fantastic. There could be snow. There could be snow days where it's blizzard or whiteout. You go out there and the snow is just so soft, spectacular, but it could be icy. You just don't know, but you will have absolutely amazing time, great fun. I'm right, aren't I, Darren?
You are 100%.
Thank you.
At your age,
Um,
you have the time.
What's that?
Was
I'm
that?
always right. I'm always right. That's it. Yes, so are there any questions? We'll just open it to the floor now. If you've got a question, I'm sure that there are other people thinking the same thing. Is there anything not covered?
Caroline, could you repeat the question? Because I probably won't hear it if it's in the room.
Okay, yeah. Question.
Come on, someone's got to have one. There's one obvious one that no one's asked yet.
Which is?
Is there Wi-Fi in resort? Yes, there is. It's all over resort and I hate it. You can have Wi-Fi. You have to set up a French account on this system. If you don't speak French, you haven't got Wi-Fi. So learn French at school, kids.
Oh, and maybe take a European phone if you want to charge a phone. And the charging cables don't have a, it's not British Plus, okay? So you do need to take a European travel plus, but that'll be in my kit list as well. Right, question, yes. Downhill. Go on, Danny.
I can't hear the question that's been said.
What type of ski?
What type of skis will they be?
Skiing.
What type of skiing? It's alpine downhill. So it means that we go up on lifts and come back down. You don't free the heel, so it's not telemark. It's not cross country. It is alpine, and there's lots of different types of ski, and there'll be lots of different ones that they're using. Well, they'll get issued one for them for the week, but they use all different types of brands.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes. It was a casual travel card. I'd say that's entirely up to you. If you think about your child, what are they going to cope best with? What would you say? I've always done cash.
You talking to me?
Yeah. Cash. Casual card.
I'd go cash, because if you lose the card, you've lost it. But they can have it on the phones as well. So if you have the card on your phone and the actual card, you've got two ways of doing it. You can monitor the cards really, really easily. I quite like having a €10 note and going for an ice cream with it, but I'm 400 years old, so what do I know?
Any other questions? Yes.
Anyone else going again? Went last year? Is anyone?
Put your hands up if you went last year, please. There's quite a few. Come on. Oh, they're all being shy. Yeah. Yes. Any other questions? Yes. How many in the ski school?
Right. So the ski school, good question. Ski school ratio's got 1 to 13, but we generally don't do that. So you'll have enough instructors to have flexibility within the ski groups.
And I'm going to add to that we try to put a member of staff with every group. It is hilarious. It's very good fun. And that's not to do, kids, with us disciplining. It's to do with just having a really good time. Because you all love watching teachers make fools of themselves. And actually, I think you've seen members of staff have said how wonderful students are. And they've really looked after each other and had some really good bonding experiences. So yeah, there'll be a member of staff, hopefully. Any other questions? Yes. There are 80. Yeah, 80. So it'll be 2 coaches. Yep. So it's quite a lot. So you can see when I talk about us having to be quite together with, we've got students from year 8 to we've got year 13s going. I don't know if we've got year 13s going. Possibly, definitely year 12. I'm not sure we've got any year 13. Definitely year 12, yeah. Yep. Yep.
Some sort of insurance.
Is there a Cartledge ski pot? I think you No,
No, Cartnage, Cartnage, I think has died a death now. I don't think you can even get Cartnage anymore. Cartnage is great if you're in France and you buy it in France, but Cartnage will never repatriate you. So if you have a medical situation that you need to come back to the UK, or you miss your transport back to the UK, Cartnage doesn't repatriate you back to your home country. It only takes you as far as the country that you're in. So Cartnage, while it's designed for off-piste, which our young people will never be going off-piste, it's not really fulfilling for what we need.
I'm gonna carry on taking questions, but I'm going to say Stanley because our IT support has got to go, and he's going to be taking the laptop. So Danny, thank you very, very much.
Wow, is that it? I've been kicked out of my own presentation.
You can go.
Unbelievable. Have a good Christmas, everybody. Thank you very much indeed, and see you out there.
Yeah, bye.
Bye now.
Right, so yes, other questions. Okay, so the insurance, school has travel.